Hey folks, Mark Harrigan here. Welcome to the program. Today I have a testimonial from a former client named Adam, and he has generously agreed to share his story in the hopes of helping others.
Hello, my name's Adam. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am an alcoholic and a drug addict. This started off when I was very young, about 9 years old. I started smoking marijuana, and everything was okay for a little while until I graduated to much harder drugs, such as meth and cocaine. By the time I was 13 years old, I had a needle in my arm shooting heroin, living on the streets of Las Vegas. I thought this was completely normal at the time. I thought everyone did this. I thought, it wasn't too bad. I thought I was just having fun, actually. But it got a lot worse from there, if you can believe that. A lot worse. Eventually, I dabbled with that on and off, quitting for some time, but never fully quitting anything, never fully staying sober. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. When I was 17 years old, I moved to Florida. And that's when things got a whole lot worse, actually. I was away from my comfort zone, from my friends, from my brother who I grew up with, who was my using partner. And I started getting into a lot of worse things. Very, very bad. I started going to jail for the first time. I had a clean record my whole life, but as soon as I got here, it started just going downhill very, very rapidly. When I was 18 years old, just when I was about to turn 19, I robbed somebody inside a CVS and was put in jail for a year for that. After that year, you would think that I would have learned my lesson. I would have known that drugs put me there. But the only thing that I thought was, it was drugs that put me there. I can still drink when I get out of here. So that's exactly what I did. I was released in April, and I started drinking, thinking that it was completely normal and social to do. But eventually, led me directly back to that needle. I went on about a 3-month run, but this time I wasn't living on the streets. I had a car, I had a girlfriend, I had an apartment, I had a job, but I was still miserable. I can't explain to you the spiritual bottom that I hit in those 3 months. I wanted to die, but I didn't have the courage to do it. I came clean with my mom. Some things developed where she eventually found out that I was using again. And she offered me a solution. I had been to rehabs before, plenty of detoxes, institutions, you name it. But I had never wanted to change before. That's what I think was different. I had hidden plenty of physical bottoms, but I had never hit a spiritual bottom. Complete bankruptcy of the soul. And that's what I felt. I had the gift of desperation for the first time in my life. So I said yes this time, and I came to Palm Partners. And when I first got here, I thought it was going to be just like another rehab. I thought I knew everything, but it wasn't. They do things different here. They have you look at yourself individually. It got me to the core of a lot of problems why I use, and they were a lot simpler than I thought it was, really. I actually had the answers all the time. They just helped me realize them. I'm 58 days sober now. This has been the most changing, amazing time of my life. It gets better real quickly. You don't really have to wait too long. I have an amazing job. I have my family's trust back again. My life, I'm happy though, and that counts the most. I haven't been happy since I was 10 years old. I'm 20 now, and I can say today, truthfully, that I'm happy. And this place is played a huge role in that, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Just know, it gets better if you work at it, but it gets a lot worse if you don't.